What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, here with a bit of a ramble. Again. I know you see Destiny footage, and this topic was triggered because of Destiny, but really the subject matter applies to all online multiplayer games with any form of matchmaking. And to be more specific, I'm going to talk about unranked environments in this video. I understand matchmaking based on skill and rank in actual ranked environments because, well, duh, that's why it's called ranked. That's how you climb the ladder, obviously. But skill-based matchmaking has absolutely no place in any other multiplayer environment, and I'm going to talk about why in this video. First things first, just to give you my credentials, I suppose. At one point, for like 5 months, I had one of the highest ELOs in the first Destiny, which is not saying much, but other than that, I don't even play competitive games all that much, and my highest rank in Overwatch is Platinum, so I'm not out here being like, I just want to pub stomp nerds, because I'm not even that good, I swear it to you. I'm trying to be as objective as possible. Now, the reason I bring this up is because at this moment in time, the Destiny Crucible matchmaker is bugged and is no longer factoring in connections or skill when putting players into matches. This obviously makes for extremely fast matchmaking times and is sometimes producing pretty laggy games, but every other time it's producing what I think is much better quality matches than the series has had in literal years, ever since skill-based matchmaking was first implemented in December of 2015 in the first game, hilariously enough. So naturally, it's a hot button issue. Obviously, the connection-based matchmaking should return, but the skills shouldn't. Not even a little bit, period. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why. First off, let's talk about pub stomps, the almighty pub stomps. It's like a curse word to most casual players. For those who don't know what it is, it's literally the act of going into public matches with considerably worse players and destroying them to inflate one's stats, accrue highlight plays, and generally make yourself feel like you're a better player, while making everyone you stomp feel a lot worse. Or at least that's the perception of pub stomping, and I think it's wildly incorrect. As someone who has been on both ends many times, I can tell you that not only is pub stomping a necessity in multiplayer gaming, but it has been for many, many years the greatest teacher online gaming has ever had. Let's not kid ourselves, gamers aren't stupid. When somebody is absolutely wrecking you in a video game, despite the fact that you might feel a tiny bit of rage depending on who you are, what are the things you notice about the player that's destroying you? You notice what equipment they have, what abilities they're using, how they're using them, their positioning, all of that stuff. You as a player want to use what they have, or if you don't already have it, try to earn those very same things. It's a natural impulse to want to be as good as the best person in the room, and that's how people learn. Obviously, people are of different mechanical skill sets and of different learning capabilities, so some progress slower than others, but again, it's the best way to learn. Not even by watching a YouTube video or a stream or listening to someone talk about how to get good, but experiencing those things and repeating those very same things. Experience is the absolute best teacher, and it's how generations of the best gamers have gotten to where they are. And the problem is that you can't experience that growth in a skill-based matchmaking environment. Why? Well, point number 2, skill-based matchmaking only restricts, it doesn't expand. This is a threefold issue. First of all, if you're exclusively playing with people at the same skill level as you, or algorithmic skill level in this case, you are never going to gain that experience because everyone is as good or bad as you are and is just as prone to mistakes as you are. How are you supposed to learn how to get better by looking at yourself in a mirror rather than a clear indicator of your goal? That's not how progress works. If anything, it simply makes for a 50-50 roll of the dice every time you match into a game, no matter your personal progression as a player. Secondly, it restricts the ways you can play. If you're stuck in a lobby with people on the same level, the literal only way to be the best is to utilize the optimum strategies. This means strict and to-the-letter regurgitation of whatever the game's meta might be. If you are not playing the meta against players that are as good as you are objectively putting yourself at a disadvantage. And again, gamers aren't stupid. They know this. Pretty soon, everyone plays the game the same, and again, stagnates growth. Not to mention it's pretty damn boring, but you can call that subjective if you want to. You can't learn how to optimize additional strategies when there's only one strategy to win. You are stuck following the meta because that is the only thing that will ever get you on an even playing field with your opponents or give you a very, very rare advantage when playing against those that decide to go against the grain. And thirdly, skill-based matchmaking absolutely kills the social aspect of every single multiplayer game. Here's the thing. People of equal skill and people that are friends tend not to be in the same group. It's very, very rare that you and your friend just so happen to be exactly as good as one another as determined by the game's algorithm. So playing with friends is almost entirely out of the question. Regardless of who the matchmaker decides to favor in a group, someone is going to get destroyed, feel like they can't measure up to their friend or can't compete, etc. And that's a really cruddy feeling no matter who's involved. So as a result, you're forced to play alone, which runs completely counter to the increasingly social aspects of video games nowadays. Which leads to my third and my final point. Your players are humans. Actual humans. Humans are imperfect. Humans are inconsistent. Humans change their moods, awareness, readiness, etc. Algorithms cannot judge people because a computer cannot detect all of the minute differences in a person from moment to moment. It can't detect when that player, who usually plays pretty well, had a bad day at the office and is too distracted by the argument they had with their boss earlier to play at their usual 100% that the algorithm expects out of them. It can't detect when a player has been going for hours and due to tiredness or possibly a string of bad luck, tilt has settled in and they simply cannot perform as well as normal. And it can't detect when a player just took a long break from the game and are completely out of practice and unable to play at their usual standards. Algorithms do not work. Your players are people. They are not predictable AI. Please stop treating them like they are. Skill-based matchmaking isn't some shortcut to success, and it's not a safety net by which you please everybody. It's a recipe for at best giving all players a very acceptable time, and at worst, pissing off everyone in the room. Obviously, there are exceptions to everything I've mentioned before, but that's the thing. Skill-based matchmaking relies entirely on exceptions for those extremely few moments of greatness. Without it, the range of possibilities that players can experience are blown wide open. Developers, stop putting this in your games. Every argument for it can be easily deflated, and the few people that skill-based matchmaking will actually appease probably aren't all that interested in player versus player experiences anyway, so really, why are you trying to hold on to them? And, well, that's it. That's all. I'm gonna go shoot more aliens now. Okay, bye.